Hi everyone and welcome to day 2 of our Pilates 28-day challenge for February. Today we're all about our legs and hips and glute muscles. So we're going to actually start in standing today. So all you need again is a mat or a clear space, and you're going to take your shoes off. So let's start maybe in the middle of our mat. So we're going to bring our legs together, and then we want to walk our heels apart and then our toes apart. Have a look down and just ensure that the middle of your hips are in line with the middle of your knees, which are in line with the middle of your ankles. We want our toes pointing off in that same direction, not rotated if you can help it. So bring them back in. Let's get warmed up a little around the hips and thighs first, and then get working on our mat Pilates movements. So we're going to keep our pelvis level on both sides. We're going to gently just tuck the tailbone under a little bit to get us into a neutral position. Think about opening your collarbones and lengthening through your head and we're going to turn our palms to face behind us. We're going to inhale as we bend both knees, bringing the hands in front. Exhale to come back up. Inhale, exhale. Really think about your breath. It's a really big part of Pilates. The breathing is a really big component. We want to allow the rib cage to expand and contract. We want to use the diaphragm. We want to really improve that lovely deep breath as we move. Our diaphragm is actually part of our core. It's the roof of your core up here. So that's why our breath is really important too. So inhale, exhale. If you can, inhale through the nose and then exhale through the mouth, through the lips. As you're doing your parallel mini squat, we don't want the knees to knock off each other. We don't really want them to come in like this. So try and keep everything lovely and parallel. Let's drive the hips back and up. Let's go for another set here, but go a little bit faster, keeping everything the same. We're going to go for 20, 19, 18. Keep your technique, keep your form. 17, 16, 15, 14. Keep going. Pilates is all about control, not about speed, but we're just warming up a little bit more with these movements. Make sure you can keep your control, keep your form. If you can't, we need to slow it down. We're nearly there. Let's go for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1, and release. Lovely. Okay, give it a little shake, and we're going to come onto our mats then. I'm going to come down onto my right side if you want to do the same, so that we can do it together. Great. Let's bring our feet together, our knees together. Our hips are stacked one on top of the other, and then we're going to lie down using our right arm for support. Let's imagine there's a little space here under your waist, or we want a little tiny space under our waist here to keep our pelvis in neutral, to keep us in that lovely Pilates posture. So imagine a little berry, a little grape, something tiny, tiny here between your waist and the mat that we want to keep that gap there for. Doesn't mean your whole hand has to go through, just even the tips of your fingers. Then we place our top hand on our pelvis. We stay on our side. Let's straighten the top leg, keep the bottom leg bent. Breathing in to prepare. And on our breath out, lift the top leg, not squashing this little gap, and then lower and hover. Let's lift and lower and hover. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. And drop. And inhale. So as you lift and lower your leg, it doesn't really matter how high you go once you're keeping your form, keeping your control. Our aim is to work our gluteal muscles and our abductor muscles, which are the muscles here at the side of the hip and thigh, working to build strength and tone through this area. But we're still working our core. We're trying not to wobble. So if you can see where my pelvis is, as my leg lifts and lowers, I don't really want to roll backwards and then roll forwards again. So I'm not really in control of my pelvis. I want to keep my pelvis still. So have a little look at that and see how you're doing. Making sure we've got the gap, making sure we're in control here around the waist, the pelvis isn't moving, and then you're letting the movement happen. Let's go for 5 more. Point your toes as you lift, flex your ankle as you lower. 4 more. Point as you lift, flex, and lower. 3. Point and lift, flex, and drop. We start to feel it. Lift and drop. 1 more. Lift and drop. Good. Let's bring the legs together now. We're going to keep our gap here, but we're going to float both feet into the air. Put your hand on the mat in front, like a little spider, giving you balance. The sides of our feet, the inner arches of our feet stay together. And then we exhale, we open the top knee and drop. Let's exhale. Inhale, this is called a clam, or opening and dropping. Really still working on those abductor muscles, or abductor muscles, the muscles, the external rotators of our hips, so these muscles all around the bum and thigh, but still working our core, because there's a little bit of a balance challenge here, a stability challenge. So use your hand for balance. Make sure we've got this gap for the little belly under our waist. Make sure your pelvis is nice and still. Remember not to roll back and roll forward again. Keep your control. If you're feeling quite good, take the free hand up onto the pelvic bone. And lastly, add the breath. Exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale. Keep going, guys. So Pilates is not about speed, it's about good quality movement, it's about control. We could all do this probably much faster, but maybe not as controlled. So take your time. Really feeling these muscles now, I'm sure. Let's go for 4. Keeping that balance. 3. And 2. And 1. And drop. Well done. We're going to come from here up onto our elbow on the right. Let's put our palm flat, our forearm flat, and the elbow under the shoulder. I'm going to take your feet, bring them behind you. Keep them together. Keep the thighs and knees together, and lift your waist away from the floor. When you're ready then, we're going to exhale as we lift ourselves up into side plank and lower back down. And again, breathe out. And in. Keep a nice posture through the upper body. Try not to tense the neck or shoulders. Lift and drop. Let's go again. Lift and drop. When we're lifting, we're not just lifting from the arm here. So try not to push yourself up just using the arm. Think about these waist muscles, these hip muscles, really pushing up through the hips, through the abdominal muscles here. Keeping the elbow under the shoulder. Move it if you need to. Let's go for 3. And drop. Use the waist. 2. And drop. And last one. We're going to stay up. Hold it if you can. Let's extend the top knee, but keep pushing up from the bottom leg. Let's go for 10 leg lifts. For 10, 9. Really challenging our core here. Keep going, guys. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and drop. Well done. We're going to come up off our elbows. We're going to bring our bottom knee forward. Let's bring it even further forward. That we're doing the mermaid stretch. I'm going to come back into the middle of the mat so you can see properly. So we've got the right leg in front, the left leg to the side, both knees are bent, and my pelvis is facing forward. I'm going to lift the right arm, the one you lay on, up, and exhale, stretch over to the side and release. Let's go for it again. We're going to lift and exhale, stretch and release and drop. 2 more. Let's lift and stretch, up and drop. 1 more. Exhale, lift and stretch and up and drop. We must do all of that on the other side. Let's bring our feet in front. Bring them the other end, and we're going to lie down on the other side. So I'm lying on my left arm this time, left hip this time. Left again, bend both knees. We'll get our little tiny gap under our waist to make sure we're in neutral. Making sure the top hip is over. Both hips are stacked. Let's stretch the top leg up. We're going to get ready to go, inhaling, and let's exhale to lift. Inhale to lower. Make sure you don't drop this foot all the way to the ground, because that's cheating. Keep it over the mat, keep it over the floor, that you're not letting go of this leg at all. We're using gravity as our resistance and our own body weight as we lift and lower. Exhaling up, inhaling down. Try to get that breath out of the mouth, in through the nose, keeping the little gap under your waist. Keeping the 2 hips stacked, that you're not falling backwards. And then keep it going with a lovely straight leg, that long lever. Lifting and lowering. That's it. Let's go for a few more. Working through the outer hip and thigh muscles now. Let's go for 4. We're going to point the toes on the way up. Flex the ankle on the way down. That's it. Point and flex. 3 more. Point and flex. Last 2. Working different parts of our gluteal muscles. And 1. Lift and lower. Let's bring the 2 feet together. Keep the inner soles of the feet, or inner arches of the feet together. Use your hand for balance as we float the feet up. Check you've still got your little gap, and off we go. Open and close. Open and close. This is where our control is really, really important. So with Pilates, as I mentioned already, we're all about stability, we're about control and quality of the movement. So we know we could do this faster, right? But we'll probably wobble all over the place if we were doing it. So that's no good to us. Let's keep that little space under the waist. Keep the pelvis still. Make sure you're not rolling backwards. Keep the toes relaxed if you're starting to get a cramp in the calf or down around the ankle. And if you feel balanced, take the free hand onto your pelvis for a little extra challenge. Let's go for another 4 and 3 and 2 and 1 and drop. We're moving into our side plank on this side. Let's come up. We'll get our elbow under the shoulder. We're bringing our feet behind us. So we're in this short plank position for just today. Let's get the palm open. We're going to lift the ribs away from the waist, or away from the mat, and then keep the elbow under the shoulder. When you're ready then, let's exhale as we lift. Inhale as we lower. Keeping the shoulders relaxed. Try not to tense. Lift and drop. Don't tense. Lift and drop. That's it. Lift the ribs. And if you're not in that starting position correct, if you're down here, it's going to be really difficult to get off the mat. You're going to maybe hurt your shoulder, you're maybe going to hurt your back. So make sure you're up, ribs away from the mat. And then you're lifting. Well done. Good. Let's go for 1 more. And hold it. Open the chest. Lengthen the head and neck. Let's take the top leg out. Lift those hips up. Don't sag. Lift it up. Let's go for 10. Nice straight leg. 9. 8, draw the belly button in, push that top hip to the ceiling. 6, or bottom hip to the ceiling. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Woo, and drop down. Let's come up to our mermaid stretch again. This time, left leg comes slightly in front, right leg bent behind or beside. Both knees are bent. Both hips are facing forward. You're in a nice neutral pelvic position. And we're going to lift our left hand into the air. Let's exhale as we side bend. And inhale to release. We'll go again. Exhale to side bend. Inhale to release. Lift. Extend. And drop. We're almost there. Lift. Exhale to stretch, getting a lovely hip and thigh stretch here, as well as a spine stretch. 1 more. And release. Lovely. Let's take our legs and cross them in front. We're going to sit nice and tall now. Relax your shoulders. Sitting as tall as you can on your sit bones. Finishing today with some deep breaths. Let's close our eyes. Feel like you've got the weight of the world on your shoulders. Let's try and let them relax, let them drop with each breath out. Breathing in through the nose and letting it out through the mouth. Try and block out any other sounds, any other thoughts. Just listen to the sound of your own breath in through the nose. Hold and then exhale out through the mouth. Letting your shoulders just relax with each one, letting any tension around the neck go with each one. And if you're holding any tension maybe across your forehead, round here, around the eyes, let it relax. Let's take 1 last big breath in and let it go. Well done everyone. That's day 2 of our 28-day Pilates